How you doing, Shake? You doing all right?
I'm doing well. No complaints. No complaints today, really. It's been a hot one out here. Then it rained this afternoon,
Yeah,
so
the flood situation. Are you affected by the floods and what's going on?
not where I'm at. Not where I'm at. But other parts of the state got slammed.
Yeah, man. Hearts go out to New York. Just seeing some of the pictures, man. Social media has the ability to put you in position to like feel the impact. Like when I saw the
100%.
water coming out of subways, I just knew the Ninja Turtles was coming to save somebody. Like I just, like I just knew the Ninja Turtles was coming to save somebody in that situation. It was truly like So hopefully, I just didn't imagine something like that. But it lets you know, like New York will be like if we keep going down the path that is this whole global warming thing. Yo, New York, the city of cities, is up for grabs. Like sea level is up for
There's
grabs.
been talks of a plan of putting in building a giant seawall.
A seawall, yeah,
hmm out
but
into the harbor.
yeah, make a fusion dam. I mean, it would do great
hmm
things for the power. Like that's free electricity for everybody in New York from that day forward, right?
hmm
But it also makes it an extremely easy target, which has dire consequences, right?
100%.
Dynamite, dynamite,
Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Hero. I'm gonna say Cole and this is the Identity Booth. That is Shake. My name is Hero. We are here to identify with you as identify with us. Now, MAGA. I know you saw the title of this. There's a lot of flip flopping. I want to extend an olive branch to you. You are this close from getting out of the Matrix. You are this close to getting out of the Matrix. Focus on the sound of my voice. It is okay to criticize Trump for not delivering on promises he made to you. Because believe it or not, we have been criticizing him since 2016 for every lie, distribution, and degradation that he has made in a mockery of our democracy. You are this close to getting out. For whatever your reason is for being upset at him for not releasing the Epstein list, whether it's you think Pizzagate was real or you're just trying to stop the evil cabal of lizard people, I welcome you at this very moment. Lend me your strength so that we can get your state representative to call in and vote to have those documents released. Because not only will I think what's inside of those documents will reveal a new story in life to you about who this madman is, I think that will be your exit strategy from the Matrix. But take it with a grain of salt. You're talking to some fiscally conservative individuals, but we're not dumb enough to fall for the flip-flop, and you shouldn't either. So we want to talk about what that messaging is going to look like, why it's important for you to be able to identify it, and how you can probably get it out of the Matrix if you want to. Shake, any thoughts there?
I mean, the honestly first thing is they can stay in the
Oh,
Matrix.
God.
They can stay there. Like they've had this point. I'm doing my quick math. A decade because what he announced in 2015,
Yeah.
right? So, and honestly, it's starting to become actually sad because imagine believing all these lies for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not true,
Mm.
but you don't want to look like an idiot.
Mm.
Everybody is going to be ruthless.
Mm.
Like, there's this dude on my job site. We were being talking. He has the Trump tattoo. He
Oh.
has the Trump Punisher, like Trump Punisher tattoo, Trump Punisher decal on his car. Yeah, and I even told
Do
him about the
people
first time I saw it.
understand
You know
that?
the iron. I said, you know the irony of that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You don't know anything about the Punisher, do you?" He's
Yeah.
like, "The Punisher, like from comic books and every like live action iteration,
Mm-hmm.
is the complete antithesis of everything Trump, everything police. So the irony of Trump MAGA people and Blue Lives Matter people
Yeah.
taking like, and even in the Daredevil, they poignantly made that
That's
clear that it's
clear.
like
Yeah.
he's not on that team. I'm not on
Yeah.
that
I'm
side.
not on your side.
So
Man.
I feel bad for him. Last thing I say is I feel bad for him because like part of him genuinely it's about protecting the children, right? And conservatives and Republicans, especially Trump, had basically put in all this blame, right? That it was all Democrats, it was all Obama, it was all Hillary, it was all Biden, it was all these powerful Democrats, right? For so long, even though the evidence was right in front of him that if anybody was going to be on it, there's a very good chance he was going to be there. You can't have that many photos with like birds of a feather flock together. If all of us people are gonna if all of a sudden it came out that I was doing some crazy stuff, right? And we were like, huh, Hero, for 2 years you've been on camera with this, bro. Like, we're not saying you're a part of it, but there's an investigation that has got weird, right? And like,
guys,
you not
calm
really
down.
helping the investigation.
Are we talking about Shake? Master Shake? Are we talking about Master Shake? That guy sold last year. He used to be on a show with me, but that's not important anymore. Let's talk about the news show, guys. Let's talk about the news show. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm. They don't want to feel stupid. Like, how often do you want to feel fundamentally stupid where 80 million people in the world, the European world, are just gonna laugh in their faces, like Charlie Kirk talking about he's done talking about it because guess what? And this, I think there's gonna be a clip gonna be played. Andrew Schultz said it, and like, I don't know, and Tim Pool has said it. They jokingly said we just need to accept that our country and our world is being run by redacteds, people who do terrible things. And it was meant to be a joke, but there's no evidence to say it's not. That both parties, right, did not do enough when it came to protecting children with this man. From 2008, right, when he first was arrested and he was given this slap on the wrist, private, basically 6 months in a minimum security and then 10 years of basically no supervision, probation. Like, basically you're in jail, you're on probation. Like, yeah. And every political stream has failed these victims, failed the people when it came to, if this is allegedly true, right? Then we have allowed some of the most powerful and rich human beings to take advantage of the most vulnerable people. For a society that pretends to care as much about children as we do in this country, are we just tacitly going to allow our most powerful people? Because basically what they're saying to me is, hey, if we release these files, right, society as you know it will crumble, right? Because that will acknowledge.
Will society crumble?
This is not an aliens thing, right? This is not an alien thing because this is not an alien thing. Imagine if it came out that the most powerful country in the world for the better part of 30, 40, 50 years, right? Part of how it became so powerful, it ran on some of the most heinous things imaginable. Like, as much as we have done and we have allowed heinous things to happen, right? Like, and it doesn't matter about race, it doesn't matter about creed, it's just the most heinous thing. I think society would break.
I think you don't give us enough credit because those heinous things we've already lived through. To be perfectly honest, America in the Western culture has put itself 40 years in retrograde just by its political decisions, because we know two things that aren't protected or respected in this country unless one of them isn't alive yet or one of them is crying on screen. Women in this country aren't protected. We literally just went through the Diddy trial and watched as this person bared their soul, whether their actions were morally correct or not. They were a victim, and they were portrayed to be seen as not a victim. They were perceived as an accomplice, but somehow wasn't on trial. they were on the witness stand, but were perceived as being the guilty verdict. And then for children, we literally just cut SNAP food benefits. There's a kid who fell into a grinder in California 17-year-old, because they're allowing kids to work in factories now because, gotta get capitalism up. Children and women aren't protected in this country. The only thing that is protected in this country are rich people. Capitalism. Yeah. If it doesn't apply to capitalistic standards and means, you are not to be expected to get. Even from the standpoint of the poorest of the poor, we only hear about their problems when a rich person brings it up. But I say all this to say, now that we know what they care about, let's not fall for the same people. This is Charlie Kirk, founder of what's the organization he's a part of? Turning Point USA.
Yes.
So he just had a conference over the weekend where he got 7,000 people in a room to boo President Trump. Let's hear. And then someone from the White House called him up. Let's just listen to how he flips it up. Like let's listen to the pitch of the tone of his voice change up now that he's gotten a call from the crib.
But let me just say this again. Everyone knows my opinion about the Epstein thing, the messaging fumble. I would love to see the DOJ move to unseal the grand jury testimony. I think that would be a big win. I would love to see that. And I'm going to trust my friends, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, my friend Pam Bondi, all these guys. I'm going to, Todd Blanche, I'm going to trust them to solve it. Ball's in their court. I think that there was plenty of, let's say, speeches that were directed towards this topic this last weekend. So we don't need to spend our valuable time on this program relitigating it.
There is got to be a case study for the level of flexibility in that backflip. Like, to do a no handstand backflip like that on that level of that caliber, applaudable. But it doesn't just stop with Andrew, with the Charlie Kirk's. What a head on that shoulder. That guy's got a bobblehead. He's got like the little face, like all of his facial features are scrunched in the middle, so there's a lot of mass on the edges. You see that? That's interesting. The front-facing camera doesn't do him justice. Andrew Schultz, who is a person that I've grown to despise and detest, because like he doesn't want to grow up. He just wants to be a Toys R Us kid. He constantly finds ways to be this white guy who finds his way into culture, and and it's always under the guise of it's just jokes, guys. This is a dude who brought Trump onto his podcast and gave him free range to speak and spew his lies, not even with the lightest pushback. And he proclaims to be an intellectual, someone you can trust because he's done his own research, someone who knows better than you because he brings on the best and smartest people to have engaging conversations. And he literally yielded to all points and never pushed back on Trump. This is a person who will make fun of his own co-host. Like, we make fun of Icon, but Icon knows he can laugh with us. He basically makes racially charged jokes at people and tells them, "You're not being a snowflake, are you?" His regression is to further put you into it. So imagine my surprise when Andrew Schultz comes out and says, "What Trump is doing is not what he voted for." Shay, what is the reason for this flip-flop? Like, what are their reasons? Because they're not going to be hurt by anything. They don't stand
because they believe the moderate version of what he was told, what he was selling on their platforms. Him, the Nelk Boys, academics, all of these platforms that garnered who else? Joe Rogan, that garnered a younger male audience, right? Mm-hmm. He was able to go on there and sell and shill his platform and it made it look very moderate. It made it look like, hey, this is common sense. And he got people who it's never going to truly affect, right? Maybe their house cleaner gets picked up, they can find another one, right? Maybe one of their third house, their third condo, their third house that they're having built in California, right? The workers got picked up, so work got shut down for a week because ICE raids. But other than that, it's not going to affect their life directly. So he was able to go there and allowed to use their platform, right? Mm-hmm. And the same way, just like we in the first topic we had, just spew outright lies. And at this point, I'm already elected, right? And the irony is, unlike the first time, he was able to get quote unquote people in new media, as opposed to previously he got legacy media and online. He's getting this new YouTube, Twitch media, which is directly, he just injected himself into younger men, right?
And can we talk about that? Mm-hmm. Can we talk about that a little bit? Because it's not a farce. It's the algorithm. Literally, if he's figured it out, if he just talks about everything and anything, the algorithm will pick him up in everything. And there's literally too much to combat. There's no way to combat that. So as a person, as a YouTuber, as a streamer, as someone who's trying to get their numbers up, obviously I see this person high in my algorithm, then I have to also talk about this person so that I continue to be high in the algorithm. So new people find me, more people find me. So it becomes the snake chasing the tail and then eventually eating it. And then there's no comeback for that. But just to be clear, Andrew Schultz said this during his show. I wanted him to stop wars. He's funding them. I wanted him to shrink spending and reduce the budget. He's increasing it like everything that he said he's going to do, except sending immigrants back. So he's making it painfully clear where his goals and his allegiance lies. They're not with the people who watch his show, right? Now,
well, it is, because what he's doing is he's setting the narrative for what the people who watch the show, right?
Yeah, but
I'm telling you,
but is it benefiting them? Is it benefiting them? The people watching him are 23-year-old. Andrew Schultz is 40-something years old. 23-year-old kids who can't pay their student loans right now are thinking they're going to benefit from what Trump is doing.
He can take that to his next podcast or brand deal and say, I have X amount of viewers, give me 100 million, the same way Joe Rogan did. He went to Spotify and said, give me 100 million. Spotify said, okay, we'll write you a check for 100 million before. And then once I'm already in a contract, as long as I don't say something insane, right? Yeah. Does my product go down? Like, doesn't matter. you've already inked dry. You got to pay me.
No. Another person who is extremely good at the spring stand reverse backflip, Candace Owens. And the fact that she is trying to seep her way back into the black community, the same black community that got her the lawsuit to get on stage. And then she went ahead and left us for a white guy.
Okay. So I have weirdly come around on Candace Owens.
Shake is literally the topic of this discussion. Shake is a traitor. We need to get him out of here.
Hear me out. I'm listening. Hear me out. She, in a weird way, if you boil down, right, you boil down the fat, she is not talking to everyday black people. She is talking to the top 2%, right? Top 2% bourgeoisie black people who have money and probably older, right? Who have much more, definitely a hard fiscally conservative value, and probably much more of a religious conservative, a socially conservative value. Mm-hmm. She's not talking to people like you and I, right? She has, in her own weird way, has always stood for what she thought was best for the black community. I think we as black people need to start differentiating when people are talking to us, like people like you and I, as opposed to talking to all of us, right? Because what is best for you and I isn't always best for what's good for all of us, right? And that's the truth. What's best for Candace Owens and black people like Candace Owens in that is not actually always what is truly best for everybody.
Okay, from the top down, yes,
right, and. It's just, and I think we have been programmed as a community to think bottom up and left and right. And she's like, no, we don't. So I am not saying we embrace her, right? But she has also, in a weird way, been like decided she's going to stand against her master, and she did. Like, the reason why she has to rebrand is she stood against her own master, right? The one thing we didn't think she would do, we thought it was unlike other conservative black people, this is not of I'm just sucking up to the white man, right? This is she's gone on record on multiple occasions going up against Trump, going up against a certain country that may or may not be doing terrible things.
No, right? Israel, fuck them.
She's on record. I didn't know what we can and cannot say here.
No, right? We can say that here. Nah, go fuck yourself.
An alleged apartheid state, right? Alleged, because I don't want they could be very litigious, right? Right? I just don't want to deal with a lawsuit, right? It's an alleged apartheid state. So, again, I am not saying we need to accept her back into the fold, right? Mm-hmm. She's not talking to us. She's not inviting to the cookout, right? But I think she can come outside from out the rain.
Nah, I think she should.
You're not getting a plate. You getting a plate, a handmade plate, but you still eating in the foyer, and you can dry up and get up out the crib.
She's definitely not getting a plate. She's definitely not getting a plate, and she will be stoned at the front door. This is a person who stood next to a Nazi and said, "Yeah, I'm cool with that." This is a person who sold her soul to then make the buck and then come back and be surprised when selling her soul wasn't enough. This is a person who has downgraded black women and proliferated the idea of thuggish nature with men with long hair such as ourselves. She's never stood by our side, and even if she is talking about the 2%, Jay-Z's up there, and Jay-Z don't fuck with her. He said that plainly and out loud. Now, do I fuck with Jay-Z? No. But I understand she might not be sucking up to white people, but she's definitely sucking on a white man. So that's enough for me to keep her on the other side.
That's a whole different conversation. You think Jay-Z's showing up to the cookout? He might get an invite.
Jay-Z could get an invite, but I'm not.
I don't think he shows up.
No, he doesn't show up.
He's too good.
Yeah, he's not.
Too good for the cookout. He don't show up to grandma's house.
No, he's not showing up for that shit.
But grandma has his photo, the highest photo of all the cousins, because he's
all cousins. Hey, there's a line. There's a line.
But his is the one photo above everybody else.
Why couldn't y'all be like him, Grandma? He sold dope from your kitchen, and you was okay with it. I'm a doctor. Right? Man, I don't know about y'all. Y'all ain't enough.
He's a billionaire. It's like, okay, Grandma.
All right, Grandma. One more story, and we saved the best for last. The Lord and Savior of said podcasting, Joe Rogan. Now, Joe Rogan was a catch. The fact that Kamala Harris refused to go on Joe Rogan's show, whether it would have been because in a debate or a hostile situation, Kamala Harris could have handled herself in that. And I think to have been able to handle herself in that situation and take on the likes of Joe Rogan would have done numbers for her. But the Democrats are yellow belly scared ass motherfuckers. Yellow belly scared ass motherfuckers. And now, not even 250 days later, he's flipping course, meaning you could have flipped him sooner. Let's hear him talk about it.
Don't. You know, you have the director of the FBI on the show saying there's no if there was, nothing you're looking for is on those tapes. Like, what? Why did they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible shit? Why did they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bondi say that?
What, are you talking about Epstein or did he?
Yeah, Epstein.
Yeah, she said it literally, I think, a week before you had the FBI director sitting here telling you there was nothing, right?
She said something about that there was like thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible crimes.
There is. And didn't the FBI dude say that there was nothing?
Cash Patel said there's nothing you're looking for. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to push back.
Right. No, of course. I
obviously, he's saying what he has to say.
Right.
Mystery surrounds the Jeffrey Epstein files after Bondi claims tens of thousands of videos. Tens of thousands. Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you what.
Chill. Oh, my God. Was reviewing tens of thousands of videos. The wealthy
we don't need to hear his whole... But, like, this is a dude who pushes back on... Who's known for pushing back. Like, how did he get duped so easily? To Shake's point earlier.
Same way Andrew Schultz did.
Yeah.
Same way Andrew Schultz did.
This doesn't affect them. They understand that they got their check written in January. Their check was written in January.
when Trump comes on the platform and says, "Oh, I'm going to we have all these illegal cartel members and this the violence." I'm not saying that there isn't violence along states. I'm not saying that immigration there didn't need to be something done about our immigration process in this country. That's not what I'm saying at all. But he painted a picture to these people who have no true idea, right? Who had these platforms that it was bleak, right? That in order to do this, right, where we're going to be sending millions of there's millions of MS-13, basically what he was saying on these platforms, and that's what it's going to take. But no, in actuality, in order to do that, you're just going to be taking up any and everybody, period, point blank. And they were paid, whether paid directly or paid indirectly because of the views, which is a monetizable, because attention is the currency of today.
Here, I have this question. Do you believe that they have made enough of a flip for them to push a Democrat wave in the
No, because at the end of the day, I think people are also disgusted with Democrats for different issues. It's at least the Republicans can build a spine to get in line for the things that their leadership, for the most part, wants, right? And what their people seem to want, what their voters seem to want, what Democrats who in 2025 are self-identifying Democrats who are voting on are actually far more progressive than their leadership. And the problem is their leadership does not want to go to that progressive. Doesn't want to go that progressive because that goes against
the mayor in New York. That race right there.
It goes against the money.
Yeah,
that's the epitome of it. It goes against the money. It goes against, and the money does not want that level of progressive leadership. Period. Point blank. And so they don't have the platform. And why would Joe Rogan or Andrew Schultz truly platform really and push really progressive ideas? Because that goes against they're like, well, your money, you should have to pay more, right? And they're like, well, what do you mean I have to pay more now? I didn't have to pay more before.
Yeah. No, it all folds in itself, and I guess we can close it off here. There's very much a part of me that wants to just, once again, if you made it through all of this, God bless you. Pay attention to the content you are consuming. Similar to the food you eat, if you are training for a triathlon, you cannot go eating McDonald's unless your name is Usain Bolt. It just doesn't work like that. And for what it's worth, if you want to make informed decisions, you can't be just ingesting slop off of the internet for people who don't seem to suffer the same consequences you are. Before you take a step in the direction to claim one of these viewers, even shaking ourselves, ask yourself, if me and you were both standing in the same line, which one of us would get into the club first? And if that person got into the club before you and didn't turn around and say, he's with me, you don't belong there. And the bouncer knows that. He slid the bouncer a 20 on the way and said, keep them out. So be conscious, be gracious. But my name's Hero. That's Shake. This is the Identity Booth. We're here to identify with you as you identify with us.